Hi guys, it's Abhinav for Homeschooling in London, and I wanted to really talk about like how you guys cope with, especially the seasoned homeschooling mums and dads, how you guys cope with like people that are just so, I can't really explain how to put it, but you see when people ask you questions and they're like, oh, why is he not in school? And then when you explain that he's homeschooled, it's like this massive thing. Like I found myself kind of isolating myself from previous friends, um, friends that I've been, I've known for many years, that have kids that go to school, and I'm finding myself kind of not really speaking to them very much because I don't really want to have to keep explaining to people why I'm homeschooling and what they always ask you what's happened. Something must have happened. Why would you decide to take your child out of school, or why would you decide to homeschool? And it's not just that, but also the local authority are being quite asking quite a few questions about and about it. And prior to them asking questions, they didn't used to really, they weren't really concerned about homeschooling. They just wanted to make sure that your child was being educated. That's how it used to be. Like when I first started homeschooling, all I had to tell them was, yeah, he's been educated at home, and they didn't ask any other questions. But recently, they've actually started to ask me exactly what he's learning and stuff, and who's teaching him. Does he have a tutor? Is he up to scratch with the early years foundation stage curriculum? And I was speaking to the educational advisor lady on the phone, and I was like, I'm sorry, but initially they never said that. Initially they never started asking me those kind of questions. I'm not really sure why they're asking those questions now. I know that it's not illegal to homeschool in the UK. I know that in the UK you don't have to report to anybody. I know that in America, in certain states, you do have to report to local authorities. In some states you don't, but I know that in the UK you don't have to report to any local authority. So I'm a bit confused as to why they're asking me all these questions now. I know sometimes it can become a social services, a child protection issue if they're thinking that the child's being homeschooled but they're not being homeschooled adequately, or they're being mistreated or abused at home instead of being taken to school. Because a lot of cases of abuse have been identified within the school environment, where the teacher will notice something and then they get the social services in, and then they find out that certain things get uncovered. In the end they find out the child's being abused, or the child's being left in the house on their own or something like that. They normally identify those things at schools, and so if your child's not going to school, they're thinking, okay, certain things might not be able to be identified if they're being homeschooled. So that might be the reason, I don't know, but I'm just concerned about that, and also concerned about like people being really, really intrusive and wondering what you're doing. Like, have you found that because of homeschooling that you've lost friends, or people that were your friends, or family members have decided they don't want to speak to you anymore because of it? Like, let me know in the comments, like, if you've experienced this and how you've coped with it, because I'm finding it quite stressful. Like, it's almost like people are making me feel like I am in the wrong for doing things like this. And obviously I know that I'm not in the wrong. I know that I know what's best for my child at this point, but it does make you feel doubtful of the decisions that you've made because of all of this outside opinion and intrusion, general intrusion. And I think generally in life, if you decide to think outside the box and step outside the box, people do look at you like you are completely insane anyway. Even me, as a vegan, there aren't that many black vegans in my area. Actually, there aren't any. Actually, I don't know any actually black vegans in my area, and so people think I'm completely crazy and insane. Like, why don't you eat meat? Oh my gosh, like you must be completely like crazy kind of thing. So I think when you do things slightly out of the box, and also the fact that I don't work a 9-to-5 job and I've got my own business, but I do it from home. People are always confused and concerned about what you're up to, because they're like, how can you work from home? Doesn't make any sense. Anything you do that's not within the norm is an issue. And having said that, I am learning to adapt, in the sense that I'm learning to not really care so much what people think. But it's quite difficult when you're coming from a background of actually caring what people think. Coming from a background where I was an academic, went into an academic kind of job, did the normal 9 to 5 thing for a while and realised it wasn't for me. Coming from that background, I had a traditional education. Coming from a background like that, it's difficult to kind of, in a way, unschool yourself, and to think slightly outside the box. It's a bit difficult to do that when you first start off. And I've only been homeschooling for just under a year now, so it's still fresh for me and still difficult for me to kind of totally rid myself of those I'm going to say restrictions, or rid myself of those that way of thinking, that school of thought that you have to do everything like this and that's it. There's no alternative. There's no other way of actually doing things. Yes, that's it really. I wanted to just hear what you've got to say and like kind of let me know your experiences or how you dealt with this kind of thing. And obviously as time goes on it will get easier for me, but because I've just really started, it's only been just under a year, been about 10 months actually, I'm still like sometimes feeling doubtful because of other people's opinions. And yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I did previously do a video to say that I wasn't really going to be doing so much videos on here, but I've started to feel like a kind of itch to do more videos on here. But I just don't know what videos to do, whether I should do more vlog stuff and I have said this before, I'm kind of repeating myself actually, or whether I should do like some tutorials and stuff. I love doing tutorials, but they do take a lot more time to kind of put together. So yeah, anyway, it's up now for homeschooling in London, and I'm going to start really trying to think about some videos and some cool content to put up on here. Thanks a lot for watching.